We are ready to go with another episode of Across Louisiana, Acadiana Style, brought to you by Mellow Joy, the original Cajun coffee. We're pleased to welcome, for the first time, Heather Broussard, but she's with an organization that's been with us before, Maddie's Footprint. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. How are you?
Doing good. A little bit about your organization, how it got its namesake and its purpose.
Maddie's Footprints is a nonprofit organization that was founded in 2010 after a local couple, Travis and Lori McGrew, lost their baby, named Madeline, also known as Maddie. Lori was 32 weeks pregnant when she discovered through an ultrasound that Maddie had a chromosome disorder called trisomy 18. And so while they weren't prepared for that news, the next 6 weeks, they started preparation, for the worst case scenario. They did their homework, and unfortunately, Maddie didn't survive. They delivered her, and she passed away. But through that time, of course, it was very, very difficult for that family, without any support truly to rely on to get them through the grieving process. They did have that 6 weeks that most people don't have to really cherish those moments with Maddie. But a lot of times people that experience infant loss, it's very much unexpected, and unfortunately they don't have support. And that's why Travis and Lori founded this organization.
All right, and so how do you guys, how do you do what you do in the community?
Maddie's Footprints provides services to families who have experienced something similar, whether it's a loss due to miscarriage, stillbirth, or infant death up to a year. The things that Maddie does here in Lafayette are providing financial assistance to such families in the Acadiana region. And it's not just Lafayette, it's parishes all around. It's help with medical bills, funeral expenses, the things that they definitely can't prepare for. We also help with grief support counseling. We offer a monthly bereavement group called Footprints of Hope, which is held at Healing House. We also have partnerships with the local hospitals, Women's and Children's, Lafayette General, to deliver care packages to these families so that they receive the resources they need.
And speaking of resources, you guys are having a fundraiser. You can't do this without funds. So tell us about, you're here to talk about Toast of the Town Gala. Tell us about that.
Exactly. We're extremely excited about this. We've always done an event around this time, but it's always been a casino theme. So we're changing it up a little bit with the Toast of the Town Gala. It will be held April 30th at the new La Pavillon venue at Park Lafayette, which is really exciting because they're just opening up. In fact, they had their first event recently. It's going to be a wine and food tasting event, cocktail attire, so very nice. We'll feature a live and silent auction with some must-have items.
That's great. Music going to be there that night?
Absolutely. Entertainment will be provided by Sideshow.
Okay.
We're excited to offer this event to the community. We're hoping for at least 200 people to attend, but really focusing on the families that we've served. This year is the first year we'll have tables in memory of their babies.
Okay, great. So some contact information, website or phone number, how can people get a hold of you to get involved?
Tickets can be purchased on our website, maddiesfootprints.org. We still have sponsorships available too. For more information about the event or sponsorships or ticket information, they can email me at heather@maddiesfootprints.org.
Okay.
That's really it.
Well, I wish you the best for that. Sounds like a fun event and should be great. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay. We're going to go to a place that hosts many events. It is over near Baton Rouge. It is called Homus House, and they have done a spectacular job rebuilding it. Take a look.
I realized that there was a need for historic homes to be used for entertaining, whether it be for weddings or grand galas for conventions and things like that. So I went out to try to find a location that I could use to develop for fine entertaining. And after searching for 2 years, I'd kind of given up, and then all of a sudden Homus House came up for sale, and I got it under contract the day after it was listed. This was the base camp, if you want to call it that, for the Homus Indians. They planted the trees here, the alley of trees, the grand live oaks here, as a gateway from the Mississippi River, and the alley of trees brought you to the mound where the Indians had their celebrations and where they lived. In 1770, they sold the property to Alexander Latil, who's a Frenchman, who built the original French house here in 1770. And it was a small trading post house. Then there were a succession of sales, and in 1812, Wade Hampton bought the property to develop it as a sugarcane plantation. And he built the big house, which is known as the Homus house today, in the front. And it went through a series of transitions, changes, through a 20-year period to what you see today. His wife said she wouldn't live in the swamps of Louisiana unless he built her a temple. In 1828, they added the grand colonnade around the house to make it a temple, and she came and moved here. Culture, architecture, gardens, and fine dining. We do all sorts of events here, from grand galas for conventions as well as weddings. And weddings happen to be one of our major sources of business today. We've built 2 ballrooms where we fulfill all the dreams of brides who want to get married, just like the weddings in Gone with the Wind and other such famous movies. So we're running tourism, we're doing historic renovation. We have 38 beautiful acres of gardens for people to stroll through. So it's not sitting on the porch having mint juleps. The approach I had on developing the site was to preserve the historic value of the house and the history of the house, but also to allow it to bring in entertainment, dining, and different things that people may want to do at a historic home. I've traveled my whole life visiting historic homes, and my favorite is the Biltmore House in Asheville, North Carolina. And they have taken a historic house and created a winery. They've created several hotels, bed and breakfasts, and things like that. And it's those things that were done there that gave me the idea of what I could do at Homus House. We have now 3 restaurants here. This is our most recent, the Carriage House Restaurant. And it's a very elegant room, as the ballrooms would have been in the day when they were built, but it's a little larger than what would be normal for a house. This is where we serve a more casual fine dining. Beautiful atmosphere, but you can come dressed as you are and try the delicacies of Louisiana. We also built cottages here, and the cottages are very luxurious rooms. There's 21 rooms that can house 70 people. And it allows you to spend several days at Homus House at a time, so you can really take it in. Many times when people come to a place like this, they may check in at 5 o'clock in the afternoon and check out at 10 o'clock the next morning. You can't take in a property like this under that basis. So you should really stay a little bit longer so that you can have breakfast, have lunch, have dinner, and experience what the property is. The gardens are magnificent, and unless you take the time to casually stroll through them, you just don't realize what they are. The gardens are constantly changing. There are 4 distinct seasons here, and the gardens reflect those seasons. And you can come every 2 weeks and see new things blooming and the changes that are taking place. So it's very important to have these changes so that people won't just come for one visit and think, oh, we've been there, done that, not returning. By having the gardens changing and the restaurants changing and everything else which changes around here, it makes people want to come at least 4 times a year. It's very difficult to get your first customer to come that first time. But once they come here, they enjoy it so much, they become repeat visitors. I feel I failed if I can't get you to come here 4 times a year, because it's just truly different each time you come here. We're just south of Gonzales. We're on the River Road. And most people know where the Tanger Outlet Mall is, or Cabela's, and we always tell them we're just 1 exit towards New Orleans from there. It's very easy to find, and we would hope that people would come and stay at the inn and just truly experience what we've created at Homus House, because it's quite unique, and we think it's one of the wonderful places to visit in America. Our website is www.homushouse.com. We're on Facebook, of course, as Homus House, Plantation and Gardens, and we're friendly with all social media.
We're going to take a quick time out. When we come back, we're going to meet Vanessa Adamson and learn all about the Cinderella Project here on Across Louisiana. Stay with us.